Hey, and Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Welcome back to Trim the Fat, a podcast designed to help you on your spiritual, your physical, and your emotional journey. Today, I have a friend of mine, Crystal Deberry. We're going to talk about things that we probably don't want to talk about, people don't want to talk about, but it's mental health and making sure we're fit in that area. Crystal, I'm so happy that you were able to join me today. You can go ahead and introduce yourselves, whatever you want our people to know about you, and then we'll go and get started.
Ooh, where do I start? So I'm Dr. Crystal Deberry, a licensed clinical social worker from Memphis. This is my city. I love my city. And we have a lot of work to do here, starting one with mental health. So with that said, about 10 years ago, I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary with my nonprofit.
Oh, congratulations.
Indomitable Families Affected by Incarceration. And one of our first events is that we are having a redefining and redesigning reentry mental health summit on February 2nd. We're also doing a volunteer appreciation dinner for those that have just supported Indomitable over these last 10 years. That has meant a lot. Nonprofits don't survive.
They don't.
So
that
10
is a
years
lot. 10 years is a lot. Yeah. That's
and that
good.
was never my
Remarkable.
goal. A nonprofit was never my goal. And our focus is on providing free group therapy services for individuals and their families, just navigating the reentry process. And so a lot of times, people will say, well, how long is the reentry process? Forever. And just, being a former prison wife with my husband being incarcerated years ago. The process, I feel like, is just forever. And that sometimes we do have to be mindful. I do have to remind him, hey, babe, we can't act like that, right?
Yeah.
I think you on your last leg.
Yeah, we can't go back.
Right, we can't go back. I can't do this. The last time you went in, I was already pregnant with the third baby. We don't do this anymore. But seriously, the nonprofit is just to focus on mental health. And I think regarding reentry, Indomitable has been the only one nonprofit to focus on regarding reentry and mental health. A lot of other reentry, will focus on employment or reentry and spirituality, which, yes, all those things are needed. But in our experience, it was almost as if we would place them with jobs, but they wouldn't hold the jobs. So what is that? That's mental health. When you come back and you tell me, I can't get out of bed.
I can't get up. Yeah.
Or you know what?
I don't want to get up.
I don't want to get up. There we go. Or my baby was sick and I didn't know how to communicate that to my manager, so I just stopped going.
Ooh.
That's communication skills. That's social anxiety.
Ooh.
That's
so you'd rather
health.
Lose what you got than communicate. Okay. So
or I don't know how to communicate.
Ooh.
I feel like they may not believe me anyway.
Oh,
it's hard.
There's some stuff, going on from just seeing things the wrong way and not somebody not helping you. You've been taught the wrong thing for a long time. Okay, so you're educating me because a lot of people. You're educating me this because sometimes we get so far away from it, we're removed and we don't know this is going on. And we have people that work for us because when I was working in retail for pharmacy, I had technicians that worked for me, but I wanted to make sure it was an open door where they could tell me anything. So I made it like I was human too. Look, I'm having a bad, so they could feel like they could tell me. So a lot of these things that you're saying is happening, I'm away. I hadn't experienced it recently.
And then just think about it, right? If you've been in a situation to where you are perceived as less than, or you've been treated as less than, how they're not gonna believe me anyway, right? So let me just not say anything and just find the next job. It's difficult. And so in just the work that we do, again, we just want to tell, during our volunteer appreciation dinner, everybody thank you.
Okay.
And then on February 24th, we're having our celebratory experience. It's a party. It's a birthday party.
Who is that
for?
For?
Organization. Oh, it's open to the community.
Okay.
Because even during this event, we're still just educating people on the work that's still left to do. There's a lot of work to do. People come home from prison and from jail every single day. And mental health, for us anyway, needs to be a priority. It has to be.
But it's not.
We honestly feel like when you come out, it should be just like you getting a job is a priority. You coming and receiving mental health services should be a priority as well.
But it should be open for everyone. Because here's one of the things. This is what struck me so good when I met you. Oh, so let me tell you all about how I met. We were at an event that I was invited to. I think she was invited to too. So it was like 20 people there, but something struck up a conversation with us, and she came late. You were late,
Right.
so you had to
I
introduce
couldn't
yourself.
find the place.
Yeah, it was hard to find. But no, I'm late all the time, so I thought I was gonna be late. But so I came right before you. But I thought when you said what you said was so different from everybody else. I hadn't heard of this, and I was like, okay, get the nerve to say something. So I was like, okay, let me go and ask her, will she come, because I want to know about it. We people need to hear about it, in whatever way we can do to communicate the need for mental health services and mental health care. Because people think, as soon as they hear mental health, they think, oh, I'm not crazy. And that's the stigma of that is so prevalent, and it's used wrong. The terminology is not received well. So when they hear mental health, that's not for me.
Right.
And so what stuck out for me was you said, okay, I got that nonprofit, and you got it going on, and you've had it, and you're helping these people like this. I was like, okay, please, let me not be shy. I'm going to ask her to come.
No, you didn't ask me. You told me. You said, I need you on my podcast. That's what you told me.
Yeah, I felt it, because as soon as it was so different.
And that's why I was like, I guess I got to be on her podcast.
Yes, I'm glad you're here. So go back. You said that this was not something you were thinking about doing. So what struck that? What's
time do we? Okay, here we go. This bold faith walk. Okay.
Yes.
So going through a divorce. My ex-husband is a police officer. My dad is a retired MPD. Okay, my whole family. My aunt is still MPD. I have a godfather that's MPD, right? And so I've always, I grew up in the law enforcement world, right?
Okay.
So I'm going through this divorce, and I meet this man, and I think we're probably just 2 or 3 days in just talking.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't know why I need to tell you this, but just know I'm on probation.
Okay.
I've been released from prison. I thought he was joking. It's like, couldn't be. You too bougie. Like,
right. You two get
yeah, you together, like, but he is a barber, so that would explain the grooming side. Exactly. And so we literally just talked every day. And so at the moment when he told me that, and I said, well, that's fine. I'm going through divorce. I'm not looking for anything serious, whatever. Well, better. Less than a year later, we're moving in together.
Okay.
October 19th, we move into a house. November 1st, the feds are knocking on the door. Not knocking, beating.
Okay.
Okay. To the point where I developed PTSD from that knock.
Okay. And you okay with sharing this?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
I developed PTSD. I call it the Fed knock.
Ooh, wee.
At that point, after that happened, Amazon could not deliver a package and knock. No, I would have to schedule my mail or make sure I wasn't home. When people and family would come to visit, do not knock. Let me just go ahead and open the door for you. You just walk in. Like, I could not do that. Because of how they would beat. Yeah. How they beat on that door that early morning. It was still dark. I didn't know what was going on. And I remember just sitting there like, what is going on, right? Now, he was at the gym.
Okay.
So they went and had to arrest him at the gym, and they brought him back to the house. Had the whole cove on lock. I was like, oh my gosh, what did this man do, right?
Because you were unaware. You didn't know there was no...
Nothing, didn't know anything. And so I remember when the feds finished, their little investigation and going through the home and everything. I remember calling my mom, and I said, hey, the feds just left. I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Here I am with a master's degree. I'm doing couples counseling. I am
right. How am I?
Look, you felt that. You said,
yeah.
How do I continue to do what I'm doing? And
this drama going on.
Now I'm already dealing with the probation, which he was supposed to get off early. He was literally just told by his probation officer that good behavior, you can get off early. Now there's no getting off early. You may have to go in and finish your time. And so I remember when he left, I'm on the phone with mama, and she says, you're going to go to court. One, because he's helped you take care of them kids. He takes care of you. He's a good person. We're going to figure this out.
Oh, that's good for mama.
That was my mama.
Some mamas were like, girl, get out of there, run.
I said, oh, my mama ride. Let's ride.
No, your mom, she was being real. Because it was not judging.
That's it. Because so many times we're used to, nope, let me go.
Yeah, like you put them in the box with everybody else and not knowing that people could be, it could be, you never know what it is.
Right.
Okay.
And I had 2 younger kids then, right? And it's just like, ooh, I don't need this right now, right? And so I remember just going down there, and I'm telling him, hey, get with your lawyer, tell him I need to know every single thing. Every single thing. And he was like, no problem. It ain't nothing. So at this point, he had to go back in and serve time. Because basically he violated probation. Okay, for getting arrested while on probation. Okay, we're going through this, and we weren't married just yet. Okay. So feds come to get him November 4th. November 14th, he's released. He's coming back home. Keep in mind, before we even moved in together, we were already going through premarital counseling.
Okay.
So I remember looking at the pastor and saying, hey, he now has a pending federal case. Would you marry him?
Right, because I have questions.
Right.
Yeah,
and I need some answers. What the Lord telling you, okay?
Yes.
And he sat back in his chair, and I remember him doing this and kind of thinking about it. And then he sat up and he said, don't let the feds steal your joy.
Really? Okay. You getting all
So
these.
here's my mama.
Right, not a pastor.
Not a pastor. It's like, don't let the feds.
But what did your gut say?
I was still undecided.
Okay.
So December 31st, we decided, let's go ahead and get married. Let's just go ahead and do it. Because God then told me, I'm sitting in the tub. God is like, okay, if you praying to me to make this all work, I need you to live accordingly. See, we were shacking. Okay. Yeah, I'm going back old school. We were shacking.
No, go ahead.
We were shacking. So, all right, God. But I just want to make sure, though, are you saying that am I going to be his friend?
Yeah.
Like, what you telling me? Because I'm okay with being the friend, too, okay? I don't need none extra.
I could be his counselor.
Right. I'll be the therapist part. He was like, nope, go all in. Literally. And so the thing is when you are arrested while on probation, they have to arrest you again. So literally, November 14th, he came home. And then like December 17th, I had just started a new job. U.S. Marshals called and said, hey, we got him, which we had already talked with the probation officer to say, hey, if he has to be arrested again, don't do it from the house. We don't want the kids to see it. So it was a meeting. He had to have a meeting with his probation officer anyway. And so that's what she arranged for them to go ahead and take him to custody, which is short term anyway.
Okay.
See, it's a lot of things I didn't know. I was like, wait, you got to get arrested again for getting arrested? It's crazy.
See, girl. So I'm thinking like, when those things are happening, so I'm glad you had a relationship with your mom and then with the Lord too, because I would be like, run, Forrest, run. Because I'm like, okay, I don't want this negative. And what is this? But again,
that's it. God was like, I need you to do this. Now, on December 17th, when the U.S. Marshals called me and tell me, hey, come get this stuff, I'm going down there. And I started crying. I'm not a crier. Okay, I'm sensitive, but I'm not a crier.
Okay, I'm a crybaby.
I'm sensitive. And I started crying while I was on the phone with my mother-in-law. I mean, well, not mother-in-law then, but just keeping her in the loop. Hey, I got his truck, I got his keys, I got his clothes. I'm going to just head to the house. And I'm crying. I said, you too sensitive, girl. What is it? You ain't had your cycle. Now I'm pregnant. So I had to tell him the next day while he is in jail. And he's supposed to be getting out sometime soon, but I had to tell him, yeah, I'm pregnant.
And you were getting your master's then?
No. I had already had it.
You had already got it. Okay.
I had already had it. But I had just started a new job.
Okay.
Dealing with this case. Now God's saying to get married. Okay. Oh, we had just lost a baby in September.
I'm sorry.
I said, this is just too much, We get married in February of the following year. Well, we get married on December 31st. He goes and turned himself in February, which that was arranged as well. And from then on, he was gone. He was gone for years. Okay. I had to, deliver my baby by myself and everything. But God was like, this is what I need you to do. Okay. And so then it led up to, hey, I also now need you to quit your job. This was about 3-4 years later. 3 years later, I think. I need you to quit your job and start this nonprofit. Okay. Wrong child. Because you done already told me to marry this man. And he's gone. I did that. You know how when people say, use me, Lord, I don't say that. No, I'm scared.
No,
I'm scared. When people say, use me, Lord, I'm like, when the pastor said, you want the Lord to use you, raise your hand. I'm like, I'm straight on that, And I need you to start this nonprofit. And I remember, so by this time, I've had my baby. My husband is still gone. I've had my baby. And my best friend's dad called me and said, hey, God is nagging me about you, and I want to get some sleep. What you supposed to be doing? Okay. Because by this time,
you need some other kind of push because now you're not moving.
God telling you to quit your job. Wait a minute. I got 3 kids
and I need money.
And I need, right. And my job is good. Like my job knows the entire situation. Yeah. So when I need to go on the field trips with my kids, they let me make my own schedule. They was like, hey, I was working dialysis. They were like, the clients, the patients love you. I love my clients. Why would I leave? I'm like, no, God, this don't.
So you try to be
wrong child. Wrong child. I quit my job. Things started happening. I said, these things weren't happening at first, but it was because I wasn't moving, like you said. Right. So when my best friend's dad called me and said, what you supposed to be doing? I said, well, I said, I think I'm supposed to do group therapy for women like me.
Okay.
He said, well, what you need? I said, a space. He said, come get the keys to my church. He said, all I ask is that you don't do it on Sundays between this and this time.
Yeah.
And that's it. So literally.
So you like, okay, that's it. Okay, now I got this. It's moving. So now we're moving.
Now what, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't go to school for this, right? I just wanted to do therapy, but I didn't know it was going to take shape like this.
Yes.
And so next thing I know, I'm putting out there is, group therapy sessions for women who have a loved one incarcerated.
Okay.
At first, the name was Indomitable Wives.
Okay.
Right, with incarcerated husbands. And then I remember one day, my mother-in-law said, well, what about the rest of us, right?
Yeah. Yes.
My mother-in-law is real too now.
Okay.
All up in the church. But if you want to meet a real G from Denmark, Tennessee, it's Miss Deberry, my mother-in-law. She's so serious. Funny. I love it. But, she was like, well, what about the rest of us? And that's what made me open it up and change the name. Then it became Indomitable Women with Incarcerated Men. And now it's Indomitable Families because now we do group therapy sessions for men.
The children too?
For the women and the children. We are at the Hickory Hill Community Center every Wednesday with the kids.
Okay. That is so outstanding. So wait, I love that story. And I love how you got there. And I love how you were obedient. So now, fast forwarding to what you have now, what's some of the things, the most touching things you've seen that your organization has done and helped people overcome, not just mentally and emotionally, but just like getting them in a good, safe space to succeed?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I almost can't tell any story without the interns or the volunteers or the board members that we've had. I remember one guy, we were helping him and he needed a size 10 steel toe boots.
Okay.
And I remember one of the interns, she said, oh, I got them. Who you know what size 10 steel toe boots? Because he had found a job, but this is what he needed.
He needed that to start work.
Literally the next day, she said, I told you I had it. I said, Maya, how you do that, right? Another young lady, her story was so sad because she ended up, I think, getting some type of theft charge. She was stealing food to feed her kids. Okay. And so we helped her find housing. And then, we helped her get bunk beds and a couch and furniture. And by this time, my husband is home. Okay. And so he delivered everything and helped bring it to her home and all of that stuff. One young lady who needed housing, we had a collaboration with it was like a husband and wife in the Whitehaven area. This was years ago. And whenever I would call, they would help house our families and things like that. And so now we renovate homes. Well, 1.5. Okay. I'm in the process of doing the second one. But with the first one, we housed a woman and her 2 sons. And before their lease was up, because they ended up moving to, I want to say North Carolina. Before they left, they were all in school with employment. Yes. No new legal charges.
Yes.
Oh, we
so you got all these success stories, and I know that makes you feel good because you were trying to get away. Like, not me, wrong child. But and it's only gonna grow from there. So so during that, you say you got interns, you got all the people. If it wasn't what you went to school for, you didn't know you were supposed to do it. How did you learn how to manage and do all of that? And with him being gone. And you having to take care of your own mental, emotional, and the child. So how did you manage that to make that bloom and grow the way you did?
I would have to say, oh my gosh, day by day, and then having to realize that there was no failure.
I was thinking the same thing. I can't lose. I can't fail here.
It's a bold faith walk.
Oh.
There is no losing. And so even with every event in which, let's say no one came, we would go back to the drawing board. All right, so how we need to market different? Everything is a shift and a pivot. Because at this point, if he's telling me to do it, I don't have a choice. And then after a while, when you start seeing the amazing work that he has done, not me, I sent out 57 letters to churches in Memphis, 57. Asking for donations, saying, hey, we have this house. We have the house. The house was donated to us. I was on the news. This lady and her siblings donated a home to us. All I need now is the money to get it done.
Yeah.
Brown Baptist, the only church to respond. And what they donated, I was expecting, with all the churches, whoever would donate. One Pastor Orr called me on a Thursday at like 7-something at night. And it's like, hey, I got your letter.
Yes.
And Brown Baptist, we would like to help you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I almost couldn't talk. I was like, oh my gosh. It's so crazy how I can still remember that, because I literally had just told God, I'm done.
And that was
I'm done. Because you got me out here. We're not getting... Okay, yes, somebody donated a house to us, right? But we were like,
now
we
what?
need the money,
right.
though. Like,
I don't have
house, but what's next, sir? You know? And so when Pastor Orr called, and then other people started donating, and then just again the support of one of the board members, like Christy. Oh my gosh, that's my right hand man. We would have events, you're going to hear us arguing, because she would, she been around. Literally, Christy one day showed up as a volunteer with no application, was like, hey, I'm here to help today. Because of one of the other interns that she was in school with, in class with.
Don't you love that?
And so now, since 2014, Christy and I are still here. Oh. Like, it is amazing. Again, it's the work that he's done that lets me know, okay, keep going. I got you. And then when you start really seeing the vision, how can I stop now?
Yeah.
Even when
you talking about you're not a crier.
Listen,
I see you.
Listen, because I can remember over 10 years, it's been so many times I'm like, okay, God, let me tell you something. And that's I have to talk to him. God, you done put me here. You got me right here. What is next? I need you to make this clear for me. Because look, I'm a Libra, so we be indecisive. I need you to make some stuff clear for me.
Y'all Libra show a lot indecisive.
Because I need some help, you know. And and when I just go to him like that, right? He'll be like, all right, little girl, here you go. Just every single time when it's like, okay, I'm at not a crossroads, like I'm at a block. What's next? And I remember actually being mad at God for about 2 years. Now, I had my nonprofit, but I was mad for about 2 years.
Okay.
And one day, because in the social work world, when you become an LCSW, that holds more weight than my doctoral degree.
Really?
Yes, because as a licensed clinical social worker, I can have a private practice or group practice. That LCSW, I worked 6 years for that. It just holds more weight.
Really?
Yes, you cannot open up a private practice just with a doctoral. You have to have that clinical experience.
Yeah,
okay, and those clinical hours. And so I passed the exam. But see, in the social work world, when you have a nonprofit, that is macro work, as we call it. That's community work. That is family work. Whereas a clinical it's called micro. That's where you're doing the therapy. It's cute. You can dress up every day. You know, the community. You putting on boots. We out there.
We out there. Toughen it up. Yeah.
But that micro, so I was thinking, now you let me pass this clinical exam, which is technically micro work, but you have me in a nonprofit setting. I'm not understanding, why would you let me pass this test when I can go to any agency with an LCSW and easily start off with 6 figures? But you got me in this broke nonprofit. I'm not understanding this.
Right. Why am I here?
And I'm having kids. So by this time, I think I have, 3 or 4 kids at this point? In total, I have 5 kids now. So I'm trying to think, how many kids did I have at that time? Probably 3. Look, probably 3. With one on the way and didn't even know I was pregnant. But anyway, it was, what am I doing here? And so that was the birth of DeNovo Clinical Strategies. Literally, one day I'm driving.
Okay.
And it was like, you dummy. I gave you this degree so you can start this other agency.
Yes.
So now I've started DeNovo Clinical Strategies in 2019. And it was interesting because it really wasn't to do therapy, but it was like, go ahead and just get credentialed with different insurance companies, get paneled with them to accept insurance. But I was like, I don't really want to do therapy. I really like the work I do over here at Indomitable. I like being in the community, but can you send some sponsors and some donors over here, right? And so with DeNovo, it started out as, okay, let me just start seeing social workers who are trying to work towards that licensed clinical as well. And I provide supervision for them to help them and start their own private practice, right? COVID hits.
Yeah.
Here come COVID.
COVID messed up a lot of stuff, didn't it?
It messed it up. But there was also some good things out of COVID.
Okay.
I've seen marriages last because of COVID.
Yeah.
I've seen some marriages fail, but I've seen some marriages last. I've seen families
bond.
Yes. You don't have a choice now.
Yep.
Right? I've seen people heal because of COVID. See, now I have to sit with this.
Yes.
Now I have to sit with me being raped a couple of years ago. Now I got to sit with, my family is kind of messed up. But I want to break those curses right now.
But I got to sit with me. I have to sit with me, and I got to stop running. There's nowhere for me to run to right now. I can't go to the club. I can't go get me a drink. I can't go. Yeah. I got it. I know.
Starbucks either.
Yeah. Like can't go nowhere but right here.
In the kitchen.
So I need to make some good use of this.
That's it.
And it happened. Okay,
and you start seeing a lot of people and Black men come for therapy. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go, Lord, because that was not the plan for DeNovo. Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay. That was not the plan for DeNovo. But when I'm seeing my brothers come for therapy and they sticking with therapy, and it ain't because I'm cute. They really putting in the work. Okay. They really doing the homework assignments. They really coming back and telling me, and can come back and tell me their treatment plan and their goals and...
Okay, stay right there. Because this is one, I'm not going to say it's a misconception. I know a lot of men, not just Black, a lot of men that avoid therapy at all costs. They even avoid talking about it. They even think, okay, if I'm doing this, so we just said, like the label, I don't need that. Or I got God. Or I handle myself. I'm a man. But it's a misconception, and it's not because I'm really an advocate of you get therapy even if nothing is really wrong. If you haven't identified anything wrong.
Maintenance.
So, right. Just like we go to the doctor for other stuff, breast exams to make sure, all the stuff, or just checkups, I think that we should go have a therapist because we'll be surprised at how much stuff that we got going on. I've talked about this on numerous times because I'm just such an advocate for maintain, because there's so many things that can get people steer us wrong. We steer ourselves wrong. Social movies we see, stuff we read, social media, the devil. It's so many things that can steer us wrong and make us think one way. And therapy is not really them telling us, it's just giving us sources. So what's some things like the benefits of therapy for men? Number one. And then after that, you can talk about just overall.
When you talked about all the different things that we just go through and experience, right? A lot of times what we just think about is on the conscious level. But there are more things in our unconscious and our subconscious than we will ever know. Seriously. Yeah. And a lot of times it does come out in our dreams. We just don't know how to interpret them.
I have dreams all the time. All the time.
And so even when people say, I wasn't able to sleep last night. Oh, what has you anxious? Oh, I'm not anxious. Talk to me.
Yeah, I need to talk to you because the other night I was like, I've been tossing and turning all night long, but I remember my dreams so vividly. They're vivid dreams, and I'm not on anything that make me have vivid dreams. But I've been like that my whole life. I remember dreams from when I was 10 years old. So.
See, I just started having dreams when I became pregnant with my first baby. Oh, it was very interesting. I'm talking about waking up out of my sleep, crying, hysterical. I'm
thinking it's real.
Having dreams of people dying, and they do die.
I had that too.
It is so crazy. So I'm real big on dreams. You can look anybody in my family, they'll say, don't talk to Kristen. If she says she had a dream, you better believe her.
Yes, I dreamed numbers before too, and they came out in the lottery, but I didn't play.
You didn't play.
But anyhow,
I ain't never had that dream.
Yeah, but anyhow.
But when it comes to mental health, when people say, I don't need it, and I say, so you've never been sick? Like you've never had to go to the doctor? And a lot of times I will explain to people and say, hey, have you ever been hungry but all you could eat was like maybe a soup or a salad? And I said, that's anxiety, shutting your digestive system down. I said, have you ever, again, like we just said,
I've been hungry and I couldn't eat at all.
That's it.
That's anxiety.
Anxiety. In the medical field, blood pressure, hypertension is the silent killer. In mental health, it's anxiety. Anxiety will make you feel like you're having a whole stroke, heart attack, and everything. Can't sleep. Mind is racing. You feeling like you're just stuck or stagnant. That's mental health.
That is.
Just what's going on with all my relationships right now? That is mental health, social skills. You need to sit back and self-reflect on some stuff. And I can't stand when I see posts where the person is always the victim.
Whew.
I just want to tell them,
Always.
I do your therapy.
Look at
for free.
Yeah.
Look, I do because it's so bad. Oh my gosh. You always the victim.
Always.
I can't stand it. But seriously, with COVID, I just saw, this rise in Black men coming for therapy, couples coming for therapy. I had this one couple where the man, he said, I just realized my wife's favorite color was yellow. Not yellow. That lets you know what era he's from. He said, my wife's favorite color is yellow, and they excelled in therapy. Like, I did not see this when I first started doing therapy in 2009.
Okay.
And even when people come to me, one of the very first sessions, I like to talk about the misconceptions. And I mean, the misconceptions that we have as far as Black people. I can technically validate those. I can understand those. Because even with me studying different theories, I don't see no Black theorists for real. The theories are German or Russian.
I see. Okay.
So why I'm going to believe something that these perceived white people, right? These are white folks' diagnoses. This ain't for us.
So that's, a lot of people think that.
Yes.
But what, it don't matter about this is some of these things, it don't matter. Because, I don't know if it's because of the environment you were, if you raised around all one, that you can't think of the diversity and receive it. I don't know what that is.
It's really, truly, I want to do a workshop so bad that says everything is not a diagnosis, it's a mentality. Everything is not a diagnosis, it's a mentality.
You got that wrote down somewhere?
I do, because I'm trying to see how I'm put it out there, market that. But seriously, everything is not a diagnosis, it's a mentality. It could come from trauma.
Yes.
I remember one time I was social working in Arkansas. I was a therapist in Arkansas, and I had took one of my clients out to eat. Arkansas is a little bit different, so I can go out with my clients. I can drive them in my car, like it was, because it was a small town too. And we were out to eat, and so we were eating and finishing up the session and everything. And she was trying to stuff her mouth, and I said, "Why are you stuffing your food? You just said you were full." And she was like, "Cause I don't want to waste your money," and they throw it away. I said, "No, ma'am, we can get this to go." She said, "I can take this home." She was 14. I said, "Yes, ma'am." And you would just be surprised at the things people really don't know and believe. And people say, pray about it. I'm a Christian all day long. I'm ride or die. Jesus, the big one and the small one, and faith and everything. Prayer is just one coping mechanism. Yeah. But what else are you doing in addition to that? That's it.
I got to do the work.
That's it.
And there's people and resources. You got to use your resources. You got to know what your resources are first, though.
That's it. And oh my gosh, if you've poverty areas or where there's not a lot of resources, there's no way for you to imagine that the pond is actually bigger than just a little section that you're in. Because if you've never been exposed to more, how do you know that there's more out there?
That's right. And it's so sad, because I used to work at, we could go on. I used to work at, before I was waiting to get into pharmacy school. I was taking my test and everything, so I worked at I was like, I don't want to work over there. I'm from Chicago, and I only have been here a couple of years. I was like, they said that's the hood. I don't want to go to the hood. It was the best thing that ever happened to them kids and to me. I was young, super young. They thought I was a kid too, but I ended up having a 7th and 8th grade class.
Ooh, that's the fun age.
And they were bad. And they did not respect at first. I cried so many nights because I'm shorter than almost everybody. And then the boys are at puberty, and the moms sent them to school to get them away. They didn't want to talk to me. They had never. I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade, and you telling me teachers never called you at home? I started showing. We got pen pals in China. We started writing. We did so much stuff, and it was a growing time for And we went fishing. I got approval for us because they had never been to Germantown. I got approval for some of them to go. We had such a great year, and I was questioning God. Why? 'Cause I was like, okay, I moved here. Why am I not in pharmacy school yet? I got held back. I didn't get accepted to that school at that time because I was supposed to be there. It was not about me. It was about them. And I still talk to some of them now, and that was 20 years ago.
I believe it.
And so And I grew so much as a person. And then some daddies, at the end of the year, some of the dads called. One of them was a truck driver. And I ain't gonna say that. He called and he said, thank you so much. He said, because I was leaving. After that, I got my acceptance to the school next year. He said, thank you. He was like, he wants to go to college. Now, he never talked about it. Now, they're in 7th and 8th grade. He said he never talked about it before. He called me on the phone from the road to tell me. Another girl, she said, I want to be a teacher just because of you. She didn't want to do nothing before. One of them was doing so bad in school. And another guy was doing, he was getting pulled for gangs. And he had to come in my classroom one day with his hands cut because they were trying to initiate him. And he was like, I didn't want to let you down. I'm going to take my test. When I tell you that was a big pivotal part in my life to show that, and it showed me early on, this ain't about you. So you need to listen and do, and you need to look at how many people have not been. They were so happy to go fishing. They were so happy to get those letters from those people in China. They really wrote us back.
Right.
But they were like 8, 9 years old in 7th grade. And they were like 12, 13. But 13, they were like, oh my God, Candy's 8. Look at her. But we had fun. And they started having hope that somebody cared.
That's it.
So now in these, you said poverty-stricken areas, and they only been around this, we have to have people, it don't take a lot.
I promise it doesn't.
It don't take a lot to give a little bit of hope and to show them something that you have been shown before. Just like I said, I got fishing posts from my friend Sherry and her friends, and because I only been fishing once a month. I said, she said, take them to that, it's a lake in Germantown.
Oh my gosh.
They had the best time. And
right.
talked about it all year. I don't know where a lot of them are now. I talked to a couple of them. One of them actually came to my wedding. Like it was so it was a big part. So we need to do more. And I'm glad you brought it up. And then, of course, your businesses and your nonprofit I want to support. And of course, everybody that I have on, we get into a good conversation, I want to have you back.
Right.
So hopefully you can come back. But can you,
most definitely.
Yes, share something, a tip to someone for 2024 to help them with. We are all struggling in some way or the other.
Yes.
Men, women, children. Something that can help from your perspective. Get a new mentality, because we're going to manifest your workshop. Right. Look at things a little bit differently. And also at the end, you could talk about your how they can get in contact, your events that's coming up, and what you do to help the people. And then we'll.
Okay. I hope this helps somebody, because this show helped me. But my word for the year is simple. Let me tell you why. Simple encompasses organization. It incorporates peace, clarity, and solidness. It's simple. That's what I'm trying to do this year.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep everything simple. Because, see, this is the thing. 10 years my nonprofit has survived, and it wasn't because of me. So here I am in these 10 years. I just think about me running around like a chick on my head because I'm trying to figure it out.
Yes.
It's already figured out.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So let me just keep it simple.
Yes.
Because I'm not even supposed to be running around here, filled with anxiety.
Right. Girl, I told
seeing this whole vision, you know, and feeling like, okay, I got to do this today.
Oh, that's
I
a
lied
word.
to you because I said I want to cry, babe, but you don't make me cry.
I'm a cry, baby.
And it's, seriously, simple. If it's getting hard, or if it's something you're supposed to do and it's like, why does it just seem so hard? Go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Because all of this is supposed to be simple. If you know you're doing it and it's in God's will for you, just go back and keep it simple. And then stop putting yourself in these boxes. Ooh, Black women. And intersectionality.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Say no.
Yes.
It's okay to say no. And who cares about hurting people's feelings? Like, it's not on my plan to do today, tomorrow, or this year for you, right? Like, it's okay to say no.
And say no.
We already have to wake up, and before our feet hit the floor, we have to figure out which hat do I need to put on. Like right now, let alone in the next 30 minutes of me getting to work, or, when I wake
taking
up,
the kids,
I'm trying to think about, okay, all my 5 kids, who really needs me today? And who can I get by with just giving them a hug and say, hey, you good?
Yes.
And just even prioritizing the kids, prioritizing not one organization, but 2.
Yes.
A husband, staff. We have major events happening right now. And every day I wake up and I'm like, Crystal, you're going to keep it simple today.
Keep it simple.
What is on this agenda?
You hear me saying it. Because I don't keep it simple that much.
Because we make things complicated. I think we're the only species really that do that. We make things complicated, and it's really not supposed to be. Everything else, trust God. Like literally everything else, it just exists.
Yes.
Rocks, they just exist, right?
Right.
The trees and
right.
Trust in
I
it.
sure
Simple.
I'm like, okay, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. Simple.
I didn't even start last year. I stopped doing resolutions and things like that. Now, is it things that I want to accomplish this year and I know I'm going to accomplish them? Yes. Right. I know I'm doing that. I even will create vision boards.
Yes.
I haven't just yet,
We
but
just
I
talked
will.
about that too.
But simple. And I really thought about this year on my vision board to just put simple on there and leave it at that.
And leave it be.
That's it. That is it. We stop doing everything else because guess what? The past has taught us it done already worked out. So let me just sit and show up every day. Let me just, what you need?
Let me receive and give and let me just,
look, what you need today? Oh, I got it in 2 weeks. Like that ain't on my list today, But seriously, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to stress out. And I'm really, truly just going to let, God lead. I know you said like my social media handles and everything. I'm trying to think of all of them. First of all, with Indomitable, it's www.ifam14.com. Or you can even find us on Facebook, Indomitable Families Affected by Incarceration. You can also find us on Instagram at Indomitable Women. A lot of people ask, what does indomitable mean? It means unbreakable. You're not going to break us. You're not going to do it.
You won't break my soul.
Not at all. And then with DeNovo Clinical Strategies, we are on Facebook, DeNovo Clinical Strategies. I don't think we have an Instagram. Look, here I go. I don't think we do. We might. Okay. I don't know. Look up at DeNovo. We might. Who knows? Them interns and them volunteers, they take care of me. I'm telling you, it's not me. I can't take credit for all of this. I've had some strong interns, volunteers, consulting committee members, board of directors, just strong. And even people who have played a part in Indomitable and may have had a position. But maybe they left a position, but they are still active.
That's a blessing.
Still hey,
that's
Chris,
how you know
this
was meant.
That's
and
it.
You followed. I'm so glad you're obedient. I'm so glad you came here today.
Thank you for
and
having
thank you for
me.
supporting and being here with me. This is all new for me too, so I'm glad. Thank you for listening today. Of course, she has to come back. Of course, somehow this year, and I'm going to support some of your things. But thank you for listening. Hope you got something out of it. Find her. If you like this podcast, go ahead and subscribe. Share with a friend that you think might benefit from it. And you can follow us on @trim_the fat on Instagram. Thanks for listening.